Roger, Mudfossil University. Today, November 21st, 2 days before Thanksgiving, talking about butterballs. Not butterball turkeys, we're talking about Krishna's Butterball. Now, what is a butterball? That is a butterball. Now, why are we talking about that butterball? Well, that butterball is on the side of a hill, and it just is sitting there for thousands of years, they say. It was recorded in antiquity that it was there, and it's been there forever. Now, why would it stay there, and is it dangerous? Well, I don't think it's dangerous because they tried to push it over using 7 elephants. I don't know, a few hundred years ago or whenever, the Raja or whoever he was said, this thing's going to fall over, let's get it out of here. And he had 7 elephants try to push it over, could not do it. So, how is that possible, Roger? Well, glad you asked. I have an idea why, and I will show you. And I believe this is a tendon, anthesis, going into the ground. So tendon straps are coming up here holding that ball, and it is never going to leave out of there because these tendons, man, when they are done hardening up, they are hard. All right, now let's look at some anatomy, and I'll show you why I say that. Let's take another look. All right, there's different types of attachments, tendons to bones and bones to muscles and ligaments and so forth. Now, I believe this is a bone attachment, and the surface skin is up to here, or like right up here, let's say, and it's just barely sticking out, and that ball broke up at the top. I believe it's just the SCX type attachment here now. BMP4 or whatever they call it. So, but this is the style, and that is going to be stuck in there just literally forever. Now, all right, this is how the tendons form inside the bone, and then they have these little straps coming out, and then the flesh attaches up above, and it's extremely tough attachment. See, that one I showed before was a BMP4 SCX. That's what this is. These are tough attachments. Then there's other ones that are in your skin and your ankle and your ligaments and all these different things, but they are tough. They're very, very tough. The balls inside here are all over the earth. There's zillions of them. And also, this particular type of an attachment is what creates ringstone. All right. There's places where they have stone that you just tap and it, bing, it rings like a bell, because it is from this fibrous attachment in here being so strong that the fibers act like guitar strings, and it's stretched. That's the nature of this. It's just tight. When they break, they will create a wrinkle zone a lot of times. Well, almost always at the top between the fracture zone, and that's called an abrupt transition. Okay, this is my childlike drawing of the butterball, and they normally photograph it from here going this way, and all you can see is a big round butterball sticking up there. But if you go up behind, and I'm going to show pictures of that, you will see that it's broken like that. And I believe, and you're going to see these little stripy looking things that come up, and I believe it's going into the ground making all these tendon ball attachments. And you can actually see some blood vessels and so forth at the top, and it is the clay of flesh that hardens to look like a red mudstone. All right, so let's look at that. And here's it from the back side looking down, and you can almost see that there's these stripes of that pattern of meat coming up. I believe that is one of the blood vessels. I can't tell whether it's artery or vein because it's hard for me to say, and I believe this is the other one. But I'm not certain of that. It could be this one and that one. I'm not certain of anything that I see here, but I'm trying to get an idea of what I'm looking at. I see a rind around, a little fibers and so forth around this. And I see this color of meat, and that's what happens with meat. It turns like that. It's red blood, and as it oxidizes, it gets browner and browner and blacker. And you can see that this area here this is all clays of flesh. So it's what it is, and I don't know what kind of creature, but I can tell you right now, that'll have DNA in it, no question whatsoever. You know, they're finding DNA in mud everywhere. They love it. This is nothing more than mud that's it's compacted, but it's the mud clay of a single creature, because your skin and your what they call the areolar tissue, which is the upper layer of skin. Well, it's between your basement layer and the upper layer of skin. That is clay. It's nothing more than clay, plastic clay. And a lot of it's called kaolin in a lot of cases, but it's red, fleshy clay. And when when the volatile organic compounds in there, the liquidy stuff that vaporizes, when that goes, you end up with this. You end up with muds and clays. That's what you got here. You know, and it does turn hard like stone and ochre, and the Native Americans called it pipestone, and it's congealed blood. Now, of course, this has got flesh within it, and if you looked at this in a microscope, you're going to see the nature of the fibers of the flesh, just like the last. Well, I'll show it one more time. Okay, here's Krishna's Butterball, and they always photograph it from and up this way, and it just looks like a big round ball, but it's not. It's broken off flat, and I can see blood. I can see all the architecture of life. Not only that, look around, and what else do you see? Look at these things. That's the black and the red of blood, black and red of blood, black and red of blood. Huge things. Now, what they are, I don't know. However, this I'm pretty sure is anchored right here, and this I'm pretty sure is flesh of some sort. And this at one point would have been some type of an arm or whatever. I can't say, and I don't know what kind of a creature it's from, because I don't really see this type of pattern, and if you can see that on the stuff that I've been working with. So it could be it could be a reptile, it could be anything. I have no idea what it is, and it could be an appendage, a little flipper that sticks off, and all it's lost is its little flap of skin here. I have no clue, but it's from a gigantic creature. This I am certain, and it is biology. This I am certain, and it is almost certainly attached with what is the architecture and the stability of these anchors, of these tendon anthesis points. So let's look at that a little closer. All right, now you know I'm saying that meaty clay substance is up to here, which would be the meat covering the bone. From here up, you see these little tiny stripes? That's what you see on the butterball. And these are the tendinous fibers that come up, and all of these different little fibers turn into absolutely unbelievable strong tension, and they're stretched. They're pre-stressed, so it's pulling that thing down. It's not like it's just laying there and it's just going to be able to wobble around. It is pulling. It's like pre-stressed concrete, where they take metal fibers, they run it through, and they actually stretch it with machines. Then they put the concrete in, and now it's already stressed. And that's what this is doing. And I mean, I can't see anything that's wrong here. Not a thing. Now, this is Achilles tendon. It's a different situation, I believe. It's not Achilles heel there. I'm certain of that. It's from sticking out of some form of a shoulder or something. I don't really know, to be honest with you. However, what I'm going to point out here is that the tendons are just as strong as anything that's ever been made. They're the strongest thing you could imagine. And they are pre-stressed. They're pulled. So what happens if you cut that? It goes twing, and in the middle you get these wrinkles. Right? That's a wrinkle zone. You're still going to have the fibers nice and square and straight and everything above, but there'll be a section that will be wrinkles on, and then they sew it back together. That's not what I'm trying to show you here. What I'm trying to show you here is that this is under stress, terrible stress. When it gets cut or exceeds its expansion, because these don't stretch much at all. I think it's about 3% is your tendon can stretch up to I believe it's a maximum of 3%, and then you're going to snap it. So don't go insane trying to bend your tendons. I can stretch my tendon. Well, good for you. Maybe you could stretch it out and it'll elongate. Yes, that's good. But don't try to overdo it without having it flexible because it snaps. All right, that's all I'm going to tell you. Now, so let's look at what a wrinkle zone is in nature. Okay, this is Devil's Tower, and this is a foot from a giant that was killed in the flood with all the other mud fossils. Say what you want, laugh. Oh, then the other guys are going to scream, it's a tree. Well, it's not a tree, and it's not anything else. It's not volcanic eruptions. This is the wrinkle zone at the top from the abrupt transition, which is just cuts flat as a pancake. And I have all the anatomical information to prove this. Now, what is this right here? What's that thing? That's blood. There's a blood supply in that area somewhere, and all of that red little slippery stuff, that is the stuff that coats the fibers and keeps them to be able to move amongst themselves, because they are nothing more than stone in your body. They're calcium carbonate in your body, CaCO3, with mineral inclusions in them that give them extreme strength. Every fiber is coated with fascia, which is a slippery synovial sheath of these kaolin slip clays. You see them over here? They're all over the place. And this is another area that had blood running down, but they all have a little, this yellowish looking slip on there. That gives them the ability to slide back and forth. They call them synovial sheaths and all kinds of little names. Anyway, that's a foot. And that is the wrinkle zone, and that's just the way it is. And the fibers are fascia. I'm sorry, they're fibrils, and they're coated with fascia. And when they dry, they are limestone. Any of this basalt hex columns, well, here, let me show you. All right, this is the tendon structure, and these are the bundles of fibers that are your tendons. And they come in these hex patterns, which you see, they're everywhere on Earth. Giant's Causeway also is a giant, not a giant built a causeway. It is a giant's body. And every signature there of the anatomy, I have found muscle tissue, tendons, tendon anthesis, everything you want to come up with. It's all there. And it's all everywhere. So it's time to look at it for what it is. So, Devil's Tower is a giant's foot. All right, so let's finish this up. I'm saying that Krishna's Butterball is nothing more than a tendon attachment here into a fleshy substrate with likely the bone material down below, and it's that BMP4 attachment, I believe. And it's not, I don't believe, from a human creature, because I'm seeing patterns that I don't recognize. And also this would maybe be a flipper type of structure or something like that. But this is the main component of the structural integrity right there. So that, and I had to show the tendon anthesis and all these different things, and about Devil's Tower and all that stuff to prove the points I'm talking about. So I think I have done that, and if I haven't, I would like to know what you need to substantiate it. All right, Mudfossil University. God bless you. Come back up. There's one or two, or who knows how many, virtually every day going up there, because there is so much that needs to be addressed.